Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, September 30th, 2018. I'm not in an upbeat mood as I typically am every week. As many of you know, there's been a huge loss in my family. I'm home alone right now. My dad went over to my brother's house. We suffered a horrible loss in our family. Of course, many of you who are viewers of my channel, you may have saw the video where I posted that my Aunt Rhonda had passed away. She was 51 years old. I've heard massive heart attack, and I don't want to put out any false information because I'm not even sure. But what I have heard is that, or the story that I was told, is that, because my Aunt Rhonda had a lot of health issues. She was a diabetic, and she was on oxygen. And so she had some health issues going on. And it was at 5 o'clock in the morning, Aunt Rhonda woke up and says, "Tim," it's my uncle, it's her husband. And she says, "Tim, I have to go to the bathroom." And so he got up, and she says, I feel weak. I feel weak. I have to sit down. And she couldn't go to the bathroom, and she felt weak, as she stated, and then she gave Uncle Tim a kiss. At the same time, they both said, "I love you" to one another, and she fell back on her couch, and that was it. The funeral's this Wednesday at Nelson House in Chesaning, the former Walker Martin Funeral Home. They're going to have a viewing, then they're going to have a funeral, and I guess she's going to be cremated, and then they're going to have a luncheon at the Wolverine Sportsman's Club on Ithaca Road near St. Charles. And this is all on Wednesday. There is a GoFundMe page available because the family has fallen on financial dire straits, and because my Aunt Rhonda was the only one who was getting an income. Now my Uncle Tim, because he hasn't worked, he's been home taking care of his wife, so that put him out of work, and he's not collecting any kind of Social Security or anything like that. And he can't pay for the funeral expenses. So there is a GoFundMe page, which I'm going to put in the description of this video, a link if you would like to make a contribution. That would be wonderfully appreciated by you. I had put a link to the GoFundMe page on my Twitter page, and there have been donations as far away as England so far. So that's very nice. And I'm not going to give the person's name, but they know who they are. I'm not sure if they watch my videos, but I just wanted to say thank you to that person who shall remain anonymous for your contribution. Because this is one of the hardest times, because I grew up with my cousins. We were all kids at the same time. And my mom and Rhonda were very close. They were sister-in-laws, but they were very close, like real sisters. Rhonda was like a second mother to me, and my mom was like a second mother to her kids. So we were all very close. And I remember when I was a kid, when they lived in Saginaw, we would have what's called family days. We would all get together, my dad and Uncle Tim and Mom and Aunt Rhonda and all of us kids. We'd all get together and spend a day. We'd go out to dinner. We'd go watch a movie. We did everything together. We did everything together. And it's very hard for all of us now, because now that Aunt Rhonda's gone, and, this is still very new. It's still very fresh to all of us. I mean, she's been gone for a couple days now. And it's been rough going. And tomorrow, October 1st, would have been Uncle Tim and Aunt Rhonda's 32nd wedding anniversary. So this is not going to be an easy week for my Uncle Tim, and I worry about the guy a lot because he's got emphysema and he smokes a lot. Uncle Tim, I love you, but you got to quit the smoking. And I know you're under a lot of stress, but the smoking is not going to help you. I worry about the guy now. I really worry about him. And he's going to need his family. He's going to need his family more now than ever because well, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to continue on because I feel so bad. There's so much I wish I could do to help in terms of, what do I say? What could I possibly say or do that would make a bad situation better? And the truth is, there's nothing I can say or do that's going to make this bad situation better. It is what it is. And I'm heartbroken, and I'm at a loss for words because Aunt Rhonda's gone. And now he's a widower, now he's all by himself. And now he's got to figure out without his wife, how is he going to continue on without her, on top of trying to maintain a house by himself. All his children are grown. He can't do it by himself. And this is very, it's hard for me to even talk about because, like I said, I'm very close with those people. I'm very close. And I miss Aunt Rhonda terribly. I miss her already, and she's only been gone a couple days. But I miss her terribly, immensely. I miss her. And I'm trying to hold back tears because it's been nothing but sadness all weekend long. But Aunt Rhonda, I love you and I miss you. And Wednesday is going to be her funeral, and Wednesday is going to be when reality bites all of us. And it's going to bite hard. I don't know if my cousins watch this video or if they watch any of my videos or my channel. But I'll see what I can do about Dad posting this video to his Facebook page. And of course I'll post this to my Twitter page. I'm just at a loss for words because this is extremely difficult. This is extremely difficult, even for me and for my dad, and But yeah, so that's going on. We got the phone call at 5 o'clock Friday morning. Uncle Tim was, needless to say, he was in hysterics, crying on the phone. He says, "This is Uncle Tim. I need your dad. I need your dad." And I handed Dad the phone because I answered from the phone in my bedroom. I handed him the phone. He says, "Rhonda's gone. Rhonda died." And my dad just burst out in tears. "What? Oh my God, no, 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 Tim, no, no, no." And I thought for sure, honestly, I thought for sure Uncle Tim had been drinking. And I know it's a bad thought to think, but I thought he was drunk. And he was just calling and like, he needed somebody to talk to, because when you're drinking, you're, emotional. But I honestly thought he was inebriated, and as it turns out, he wasn't. And he was just, in fact, he was, I can't even put into words. He was just so emotional on the phone. And he says, "My wife, my Rhonda is gone. My Rhonda's gone. She died." And that's when we all lost it. I don't know what else to say other than I miss her, and this is going to be a difficult week for sure. But anyways, switching subjects, I was down in St. Clair Shores yesterday at Maggie's Wigs for Kids. I was volunteering my time, and it was fun. I was still going through a lot, thinking about my Aunt Rhonda, and I was still sad about her passing and everything. I mean, it's still fresh, and so I went down to St. Clair Shores yesterday, and my last $40 that I had in my pocket, now I'm broke, until tomorrow. And it was fun. I restocked water bottles. I filled out these information packets. I put the stickers in the top corners up here. Piece of hair. I put the stickers up here, and then when you open the folder, you have the DVD and the pamphlet, the brochure, and you have a folder here, and then you have a year in review, and then there's another sheet back here. I put all these in. I filled them all in and put the business card here. But I had a wonderful time, and I made some friends, and I talked a little bit on a Facebook Live video because they did a Facebook Live video, and it was a lot of fun. They want me to come back this Friday on October the 5th to do some more work and help them out. They wanted me to come back weekly, but I told them I don't know if I can do weekly because, it's quite a distance. It's about an hour and a half drive one way from here to St. Clair Shores. And because I had, because I had construction on 696 down by the Detroit Zoo, I had to drive slow through that. Then on the way back, I had to go through downtown Detroit. I had to go 94 to 75. Back up to 696 to 23. But it's like, that's a lot of driving to be able to do it every week. Don't think I could do it every week. But I have some volunteerism under my belt, which is nice, and I made some new friends. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to Jackie and Jennifer and Maggie Varney herself for having me there. It was a lot of fun, and I will be back this Friday. Very nice people, wonderful people there, and they want me to bring Jer Bear. Jennifer wants me to bring Jer Bear. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. So I was there yesterday, and I haven't been sleeping well. My sleeping schedule, my sleeping pattern it's out of whack, and I haven't been sleeping normally. Damn it. I haven't been sleeping normally, and I've just been on the go constantly, and I just got a lot on my mind. But I'm making do. I'm getting through, and yeah, that's all I can do. And just kind of smile. Although everything is not okay, but I'm trying. I'm hanging in there and being as strong as I can be. So and with that being said about the Maggie's Wigs for Kids, I also wanted to remind everybody that today is the last day of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I haven't been vocal about childhood cancer awareness as much as I would have been otherwise in years past. And the reason for that is because, as I've stated previously, it's the direction that it's going that I don't agree with. I mean, there's far too much showboating. There's too much self-absorption with people. They are too busy making themselves look good when they're supposed to be working for a cause, and they're supposed to make it about the kids. And this has kind of got me into some hot water too, where Jared, you can't be saying stuff like that. Oh, but I can. Because it needs to be talked about. This is happening more often than most people think, and the whole reason, and I had even written this in my journal, the whole reason that childhood cancer is the reason that most people don't take it seriously. It's not just because the word rare is put in the same sentence as childhood cancer. It's because people see the behaviors of the grown-ups and not the fighting of the kids. The kids are fighting to live, and the parents are too busy making it about themselves. They see, they see all these different things, and they think that it's so beautiful, and people are trying to glamorize childhood cancer all the time. I'm telling you, there's nothing beautiful or glamorous about childhood cancer, about children who are fighting for their lives. There's nothing beautiful or glamorous about it. That's why no one takes it seriously. That's why the so-called movement is stagnant. Nobody's going to take you seriously if you're not going to make it about the kids. All they see is showboating. People who are up there, oh, I'm Mr. Popularity. Well, that needs to stop. And they see this, it's this false portrayal of what childhood cancer is. They see it as, we see it on TV, and I'm not putting down anybody, but you see the commercials, where they show the bald kid smiling. There's more to it than that, and I've stated that before. There's much more to childhood cancer than what any outside observer would see. People who are indirectly affected by this, they look at the commercials and they say, oh, well, that's cute, and it's so terrible that kids have to go through that, which they're right, they're correct in their observations, but what I'm saying is that there's so much more going on that most people don't know. And when they do see it, especially on social media, what they're seeing is showboating and gloating and people who are making it about themselves. They're using kids as a way to propagate their own reputations as people who should be treated like pinnacles of such a community as childhood cancer. And personally, I have a problem with that, an intellectual problem, because anybody who advocates for cures of a disease or funding for research, they should never make it about themselves. They're hoping that they can take the credit. If there should be a major breakthrough with modern medicine, that somehow we find a cure or a panacea for childhood cancer as a whole, for every kind known to exist. I would like that myself. I would love to see in my lifetime a cure for childhood cancer. Every cancer there is, right down to DIPG. From Wilms tumor to DIPG and everything else in between, I would love to see a cure for each and every cancer known to exist, especially for children, because funding for research of pediatric cancer is so horribly underfunded. And yeah, a part of it has to do with, well, they use the word rare. And they think, well, if we add the word rare, then maybe perhaps, it's not so heard of. So maybe, it would want people to then crusade in finding out information or educating themselves and maybe perhaps other people. But it's not working, because if it's rare, then people may think, well, it's rare, we don't need to show any kind of interest in this. We don't need to have any enthusiasm about raising awareness. Just do away with the word rare and just get down to the bare bones of what's going on. It's not rare, obviously, because if you have the number of annual diagnoses, and these aren't numbers that someone just pulled out of their backside. These are numbers that have been statistically proven. There's a consensus of children who are battling. These aren't made up numbers. This is real stuff. And, how can you have such a large number of annual diagnoses and then say that the disease itself is rare? I speak from experience. It's not rare. But anyway, those are my thoughts on advocacy. Excuse me. There's just far too much showboating and too much gloating. I don't like the direction it's taking. And as far as the community is concerned, notice the suffix of the word community. It's unity. It's lacking unity. All you have to do is look like these big social gatherings, right, where people get together and they talk about their battles and such. There are certain cliques within, a clique here, a clique here, a clique here, a clique here. Shouldn't we all be in it together? That's how I envisioned it when I started advocating 5 years ago, is that we were all in this together. That somehow we should be rowing the same boat in the same mucky waters of childhood cancer. We should all be going in the same direction and working together. I want to be among people, not above people. There are some people who they make advocacy into a competitive blood sport, and they need to be the pinnacle. They need to be treated as messiahs. They need to be, they need to be golden and everything, no pun intended, but they need to be the very supreme person or figurehead of what childhood cancer is, which is silly and it's stupid. And the thing about narcissists is that they depend on you to show them attention. They depend on you to stroke their egos, to kiss their butt. That's not what I support. And if that's the direction that childhood cancer is taking, then I'm going to pull away from it. I'm not making any statements that I'm ending my advocacy efforts now, because far too many people would just enjoy that immensely. But I'm not ending my advocacy efforts, but I'm saying we need to stop making it about the adults in a childhood cancer world. It's not about the parents. It's about the kids. And I do understand there are a lot of bereaved parents who are advocates of awareness and research. I get that. Now, they do this to honor the memory of their children, and I'm not denouncing that. I'm not shaming it. I'm not putting it down. But at the same time, your face does not need to be seen everywhere. If you want to do something, in the name of childhood cancer, do it. You don't have to have a camera aimed at you every single time you do something good. You don't need to be the center of attention all the time. Make it about your kid. Don't make it about you. If you want to join and Relay for Life, do that in your child's memory. Do that. If you want to pay for the funeral of a warrior, if you want to buy groceries for a family in need, if you want to do something, if you want to pay it forward in some way, do it. But you don't need to have your face plastered all over social media, getting your pats on the back and your validation and your ego stroking going on. Because that alone, it diminishes and it liquidates the truth value behind your good deed. It diminishes all that. It becomes so disingenuous after you post it on social media. It's null and void. it's no use. It's of no use to me, because you are killing this idea of paying it forward. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Don't do it for a social media moment. Do it for a humanity moment, which doesn't require social media. In other words, help people without the desire to be Mr. Ace in the hole all the time. I'm frustrated with the whole thing. And if that's the direction that we're all taking, this is childhood cancer and you're making it more about you, then I'm not going to support that. And like I said before, even if I'm not an advocate, I'm still a survivor. That doesn't go away. But anyway, and speaking of childhood cancer, I want to remind all of you to visit GuideStar.org. Yes. GuideStar.org is a website that's tied in with the Internal Revenue Service of the United States government. They have a complete and comprehensive listing of all the 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs. Don't be duped. Visit GuideStar.org today. So, I think I've pretty much gotten everything out of the way, although I haven't been here for very long. About a little under a half an hour. It's afternoon, it's almost 12:30. Dad, like I said, Dad went over to my brother Jay's. Amy went to hang out with my mom. A lot of people think that Amy's my mother, by the way. No, she's not. She's just Dad's girlfriend. So that means I have the house to myself, which is nice because I can hear myself talk. I can hear myself think. And that's what most people would think. They think that, well, Jared makes these videos to hear himself talk. Not necessarily. I make these videos primarily because I'm no longer on Facebook, and there are people who would otherwise like to know how I'm doing and what's been going on with me. So that's why I kind of went ahead and decided to start doing this every Sunday. And what I would like to do is I would like to, later on, if I have the time and if it's not so busy, I would like to do a YouTube live stream. And I would like to talk to some of you if you have a YouTube channel. You can ask me a question in the chat, or you can talk about whatever you want, or strike up conversation with people, with friends and such. And I can respond accordingly to the chat. And I can respond directly to people. So we can get to know one another for a little while. Or for a little bit, I should say. Again, my sleeping pattern has not been the greatest, so my words are all out of order. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube live stream a little later today, and I'll announce it on Twitter. And of course, if you're watching this from my dad's Facebook page, I'll let him know when that will be, just in case you do have a YouTube channel and hey, subscribe to Jared Fuller, hit that subscribe button. Actually, there's a little bee on that side down there, where that little bird is down there in the corner. All you gotta do is click on it and click the subscribe button, and there you go. Or you can just click the subscribe button down there, straight down. And of course, there will be a link to the GoFundMe page for my Aunt Rhonda's funeral expenses in the description of the video. So if you are inclined to do so, if you feel so inclined to help my family, that would be totally appreciated, because this come out of nowhere. We're all in shock and disbelief, and my Uncle Tim, I worry about him, and you know, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because now what he has to do is he has to make sure that Aunt Rhonda's expenses are taken care of. And I hope we are successful in raising money for that, to get those expenses covered. There was some mention of coffee can, the coffee jar donations around Chesaning. I'm not sure. I'm thinking they wanted me to put up a coffee can or something to help cover the cost. They didn't ask me directly, although I should look into it. There are some businesses, local businesses around Chesaning. I know who will do it. The pharmacy will do it. I know for sure, because I had a donation jar at the pharmacy before a couple of times. So I'll get it right, you know. I'm tired still, and there's just been so much going on, and I feel like I could use a nap. I'm emotionally drained. I'm stressed. There's just so much going on. Oh. Anyway, how are you? I'm, other than the lousy sleep and my aunt passing away, for the most part, I'm doing okay. Tomorrow I gotta go pay bills. I gotta go to Owasso and pay my cell phone bill, and I gotta pay some other bills, and might grab a bite to eat when I'm in Owasso tomorrow. I might go to Ponderosa. That's usually my hangout, the Ponderosa Steakhouse. Or I might go to Taco Bell, or I might go to Chinese, or somewhere to get some good food. I don't mind Burger King or McDonald's once in a while, but after a while I get tired of hamburgers. Nobody likes hamburgers all the time. But yeah, it's been rough going. But I'm here. I'm taking care of business in the best way I know how. And, you know, life isn't fair, but I just got to keep it moving. Got to roll with the punches, and I got to be strong for my family, and I got to show them that even though it hurts and we're going through the worst possible time again, that we will persevere. We will get through this, and we'll do it together. We've always been close. Maybe not so much now, because the kids have grown up and they have started families of their own, and they, you know, they're in relationships and they've got their own lives going and such. But no matter what, I mean, we're always there for one another, for the most part, or at least I'd like to think. But you know, it's something that I never like to discuss, even with my own parents, about, you know, when they pass away. I don't want to talk about it, but I know I have to, because there's no getting around it. We can't circumvent death. You know, we can only face it. And I don't like to face this idea that my parents will no longer exist one day. But Aunt Rhonda's death kind of put all that into perspective for me. That, you know, your parents aren't going to live forever. And one day they can just be taken away from you without warning, without any prior health issue. It can happen. You know, life can kick you in a place where it hurts, and when you least expect it. And I saw my mother the other day at my Uncle Tim's house, and I told her, I said, I'll love you, and I'll tell you I love you as oftentimes as I can. Because it's a day that I don't want to have to face, the day that my parents pass away. That's going to be the most difficult for me. I don't like this idea that my parents aren't going to live forever. But neither am I. Neither are you. None of us are going to live forever. And, you know, when I was 16, I used to think that, you know, I would die young. I always had this fear of death. And because I heard about it, even when I was 16, I heard about young people dying. Of course, most of it was they had problems with alcohol and drugs, mainly drugs. And it had gotten so bad that they couldn't walk away. And eventually it ended up killing them. And it's just really, really sad to me. And it's such a shame that even to be young and to want to take yourself out is just, I can't understand it. I can't understand. They're probably going through things that I wouldn't understand. So I don't want to sound insensitive. I don't want to sound selfish when I say I don't understand. Maybe it's not for me to understand. Maybe they were going through things that I didn't know, and you know, they felt that taking themselves out was the best way to go. Of course, I don't encourage suicide. I don't encourage death at all. I rail against it, but you can't save everybody. That's a hard lesson to learn, and it's a hard concept to come to terms with. Because even as an advocate for childhood cancer, which is not something that we put ourselves into, by the way, but it's something that we were shoved into and voluntarily thrust into this, I wish I could save everybody. I don't like to see people suffer. I don't. It's one of the most harrowing things ever to see someone else suffer, especially a child or especially a person that you love. It's difficult to see that. Oh, hey, Amy.
Hey, Jared.
We're doing the Sunday video update.
That's what Dad said.
Yeah.
He called me up at McDonald's and told me he was going over to Jay's and
yeah.
You were doing your video.
Yeah. But watching anyone suffer is not easy. It's one of the hardest things. I got Pepsi over here.
Mom bought it.
Yeah. But that's a discussion I don't like. You know, I don't like to talk to my parents about that, but eventually I have to. I have to. And I'm not looking forward to that day. But it's gotta happen. You know, and if I ever have kids of my own someday, I mean, I would have to have that talk with them too. That, you know, hey, Daddy's not going to live forever, so we got to decide. We have to talk about this, and you know, got to decide what I want done when I pass away, and what I want done with my body, and you know, because the thing about when you make arrangements and plans like that, or how you want things to go, you don't want to have to live with the anxiety for the rest of your life, you know, thinking that, well, gee, my wishes will not be met when I pass away, that somehow they're going to go against everything that I had set into place and everything that I wanted to be done. I don't want to have to live with that anxiety for the rest of the time that I'm here. I want to go out gracefully knowing that what I asked for will be done. And that's the whole point of having those discussions with people who eventually they're going to pass away. But, I mean, you know, it's always it's something you have to do. It's one of those, I don't want to talk about it, but I have to. But
I'm sorry, Jerry.
no, you're fine. You're fine.
I thought maybe you had my butt hanging out in your.
No.
Oh no.
No, Dad was here earlier, and I started recording, and he was talking off, but then I kind of got lost in other subjects that, I'll just do the video over.
Right.
I've been contemplating doing a video talking about cyberbullying, but if I do the video talking about cyberbullying, what I want to do is I also want to introduce some helpful hints and tools. You mind, guys? Hey, Scruff,
You might want.
Barkley, hey. There are some additional tools and information that I would like to
Berkeley,
go out.
come here, bud.
Go. Come on, go. If you're going out, go.
I know you like to be with Jared,
But anyway, yeah, I keep getting interrupted.
Sorry, dude.
No, it's not you, it's the dogs. But there are other things that I'm going to talk about in that video. It's not just cyberbullying. It's going to be other useful tools that I hope the parents, because I know kids are on Twitter a lot and Facebook. But I think the aim of that video will be towards Twitter, because that's where a big issue lies. And I want parents to be aware. They don't have to agree with me. They don't even have to like me. But there are some things you need to be aware of. And I think in terms of talking about cyberbullying, it's all synonymous. Cyberbullying and there's all kinds of just not so child-friendly things on Twitter. But yeah. I've been here for a little over 40 minutes. It's not going to be a long Sunday video update. I'm kind of tired yet, groggy, and
Too much been going on.
stressed. I don't know. I'm just take one day at a time. That's really all I can do. It's all anybody can do. But yesterday was a lot of fun. I stocked water bottles, and I entered in hair donations into the computer. They were coming in from all over the United States. One of them came as far away as Singapore. So that was nice to be there and help. And I was on the computer entering all the hair donations and the addresses and the cities where they lived at, cell phone numbers, email addresses, the whole 9 yards. And then I just, helped stock water bottles. And I went next door to Jet's Pizza, picked up lunch for everybody. They had given me the money to pay for the order. Then I brought some pizza back. That was good. I filled out, of course, like I had shown you all, I filled out these information packets. I put all the materials inside the folders. And they want me to come back this Friday on October the 5th. I'm looking forward to it. They want me to do an every week thing, but I don't think I can do every week because of the travel thing and the money thing.
Oh, your mom's leaving today and she'll be back.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about this too. I'm hoping soon, or maybe before the snow starts flying, I want to plan a trip down to Indianapolis to meet a warrior and his mom. We've been talking for quite a long time, and I would like to make a special trip down to Indianapolis. I've never been to Indiana before, so that would be a nice run, I think. So they live, I think, east of Indianapolis, but I would have to go through Indianapolis. I could take 69 from Lansing and go down through Fort Wayne. I hit Indianapolis, and then I head east. I don't even know what road, to be honest with you. I have the person's address, so I can MapQuest it and study the maps, but I don't even remember what the highway is.
Okay.
Not right off. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I can't think straight. I'm tired and ran down.
What time did you get up?
I got up.
I know I got up about 6.
Well, you were gone when I got up, so.
Oh.
I got up about a couple hours ago.
I thought you were up and made coffee and all that before I went.
I don't know. I don't think I was. I don't know. I don't know, Amy. You probably were. I don't know.
I know it, bud.
I don't know. Oh, it's just been a busy week. Rough weekend.
Yeah, and then I get a call from your brother.
Yeah, they had Aunt Rhonda's obituary on TV5 this morning, and I taken a picture of it with Dad's cell phone, or my cell phone. Dad's cell. See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I had taken a picture of it with my cell phone, emailed it to Dad.
Yeah.
And I think he posted it to Facebook. I think he did. I'm not sure.
Really?
He may have.
I haven't checked his Facebook or anything yet.
But who knows? I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm just on Twitter and
Right.
YouTube. I was thinking about starting Instagram, but I don't think I'm going to do Instagram. I'm just going to stay away from Instagram altogether because I hear it's even worse than Twitter with trolls and the real problem people, the perverts and the creeps.
Yeah.
I don't want no part of that.
Yep, I do away with my Facebook, but I got my kids and then my nephews and stuff like that
See, and that's
keep me on.
See, that's the problem. Was a problem, not the problem, but a problem with social media. We don't live on social media. We live in the real world.
Right.
Social media is not the real world. It is a misconception of reality.
Yeah.
You know, you can say anything on social media. You have your anonymity. You're such a tough guy when you're behind a keyboard and a screen. But when you meet someone face to face, you wouldn't say half of the garbage to their face that you would say on social media.
Yep.
Now,
Then again, there may be some people you do.
yeah, they'd be taking a big risk.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes guts. But there's the anonymity of social media. That's why I don't, even on Twitter, I hardly tweet. I hardly tweet anything. If people say hi to me, hello, I hope you're doing well. Or sometimes I'll see what everybody else is up to and then just sign off or whatever. But I don't live on social media. And I think that is the problem now. We have far too many people who, and I understand social media can be good for good things, some things that are good. But you don't live there. And when people talk about, oh, he's stalking me. Oh, he's stalking me. Guess what? I'm not coming to your house with a machete. I'm asking you a question. That's not harassment. That's not stalking.
Right.
I don't see that's an issue. When you start whining and complaining about, oh, he's stalking me on the internet, please, do you know how many people I've had email me or, get in touch with me somewhere else after we part ways on social media? I don't sit here and cry that they're stalking me because I don't live on social media.
Or, oh, They're blocking me.
I don't live on the internet. I have a life. It's outside of this. I have my home. I have my friends and my family. And yeah, I text people once in a while, and I Skype with my friends in New York because they're pretty much the only people I ever Skype with.
Right.
Is my friends from New York. My nose is itching. But I don't live here. I don't live on the computer. Most people are so addicted to it that, well, this is life now. You can't get a glass of water without putting it on Facebook. Well,
No.
I'm going to have it. I think I'm going to have a glass of water. Oh, I'm going to share a picture of my lunch. Oh, did you hear that story about Jared? Give me a break. Give me a break, people. It's not life. You don't live on Facebook.
Well, like me the other day, I posted on Facebook that things are not good for me right now, so I'm going and playing my games. I'm not talking to nobody.
And why can't they do that anyway? If you're so important to someone, if you're so important in their life, why can't they call you? Why can't they text you? Why can't they email you? Why can't they find other means of getting in touch with you?
Yep.
And say, screw Facebook. Oh, my nose itches. Damn. Why can't they find other means? Why can't they come to your house if they live 15, 20 miles away from you? They can come and visit you. Or you can go and visit them.
I wish my son lived that close.
Even still, though. I mean,
I'd go see him every day if I could.
we don't live on social media, is the point. We do not live on social media. That is just...
Some people do.
Yeah, some people do, and that's a problem. And it's also a problem that they use Facebook for a source of news. Well,
I go right to the news channel I got on my phone.
I go to the source, which is not Facebook, and I go straight to the people.
Yeah, same here.
You know,
I got my local news. I got
even the local news.
not even local.
Well, any news anymore is just getting depressing.
Yeah, it's either Trump this, Trump that, or the election coming up, or
Yeah,
this one doing this to women, and that one doing
that's all we
that
hear.
to women.
That's all we hear. It's
guns killing.
someone's getting shot in Flint. Someone got stabbed in Saginaw. Oh yeah, these Trump this, Trump that.
They just had one in Saginaw where a dude barricaded himself in this house with a woman.
Yeah.
And they were trying to talk him out. And he ended up killing himself.
It's all bad news.
All he could say is, I wanted to commit suicide. I want to commit suicide.
It's all bad news on television.
They even had his family there trying to talk him out.
It's all bad news on TV.
Yeah.
It's why... It's like all this stuff about this Kavanaugh guy. It's all I see on Twitter. And I understand it's big news. And if
Bill Cosby.
And Bill Cosby. I understand, like with the Kavanaugh thing, that's big news. I don't follow politics. I'm not a political person. Now, if someone, and I don't care who you are or what position of power you're in, if you violate someone's rights, you should be punished for that.
And Bill Cosby was removed from the place that they put him at. And now he's at another prison facility.
Excuse me.
But the reason they moved him is because of the fact that he was getting criticized.
Well, gee, I wonder why that is.
And now he's got his own cell.
Yeah, he's got protection.
Yep, you know he does.
And Bill Cosby, he's a big name in television. He's Fat Albert. Yeah. The voice of Fat Albert.
Oh, no, they changed his name now. Excuse me, it's not Bill Cosby, it's Pudding.
Pudding.
They even stated that in the report.
That's all, that's all we hear about now. Oh yeah, this sexual assault. That's all we hear about.
And
Suddenly, all these men that we have known for years. I mean, not known, but they are household staples, whether they're in music, television, or what have you.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming out. Oh, I just remembered this guy had inappropriately touched me. Really? I could get into a whole slew of opinion about that, but it's just bothersome watching the news. And the itchy nose is bothersome too, but allergy season. But yeah, I'm not at all political. People ask me my opinions about Trump. I don't know a lot about politics. Like they talk about things that I've heard of it, but I don't care. I have no feeling. I just don't care about politics.
Yeah.
And well, Jared, you should care. You should care about current events. The current events are the same as they've always been.
Or you got people telling you, "Why don't you vote? Are you gonna vote?" No.
I voted one time in my life, and that was
Same
the biggest mistake in my life.
And it wasn't who we wanted in.
Well, and a lot of people, I hear this commonly. They say, well, my vote doesn't count, so that's why I don't vote. But here's the thing. Let's say it does count. Let's say your vote does matter. Someone gets in there and messes things up, colossally messes things up. That's why I don't vote. Other than the fact that, again, like I said, I don't understand politics. They talk about proposal this, proposal that, proposal. Guess what? You can't cross-vote. You can't be Democrat for one issue and Republican on another. You got to vote Republican or Democrat on the ballot. It used to be the first and only time I've ever voted, I could cross-vote between the parties. You can't do it. So it's like, and I remember it to this day. I was 18 years old. I walked out of Brady Hall. And I looked at Dad and I said, I am never doing this again.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. I mean, these ballots are, I couldn't even fit it on here on the screen. I mean, these ballots are like a long list.
Yep.
A carbon copy, whatever, and then you put it in this machine and then they count your vote. It's like, good grief. And the print is so small.
And all you do is read the question and fill in your answer like you used to do in school with the little bubbles.
Do you support this proposal? Do you support this? Do you support that? I support not getting involved at all.
Like I told Dad, I says, why won't they let them women run, but they do not ever accept. They always beat them out.
It's the voting. It's the voter. The people say that their votes don't count. Well, they do. I think your vote, it counts in terms of it's tallied, when they do the head count.
Yeah.
When they vote so many people in. Or they get so many votes for a particular person.
Right.
To me, it's nothing more than cheerleading. I like this person. I want them in. I'm going to vote them. Okay. So if you vote this person in, and they, again, like I said, they mess everything up. They make things worse, more worse than what they were.
Yep.
Well, the fault kind of comes back on you because you voted them in. These people don't just show up out of the blue and take a position. We, the people, put them in that position.
Yeah.
That's why there is an election process. That's why there's voting. That's why there's all these things. Voting is participatory, which is exactly the reason why I don't participate.
You ask me, the president and everybody needs to live a low
Poverty.
Yes, thank you.
They need to live our life.
Yes.
They need to walk in our shoes, but they won't. I'm not political, and I don't know. To me, it's just.
I don't understand it myself, so that's why I don't vote.
I mean, there's people who, like if you have a felony on your record, you can't vote. You're by law, like, if you're in prison or whatever.
Oh.
Or if you've been in jail, if you have a felony or whatever. Right. That's what I was told. You're not allowed to vote. I don't vote anyway, and I've never been in trouble a day in my life.
Yeah. I voted once, and I didn't like it, so. Never again.
I'm not keen on voting. I just don't understand any of it. Like they have these primary elections, right? They talk about, well, vote for me. I can change this, and we can get back. How many people do we have to go through over a colossal amount of time when people in office actually start to stick to their promises? They all promise this, and they promise this, and they promise this, and this, and this.
Well, just like.
Well, we've been now decades. Over the course of millennia, we've been volunteering in this electoral process.
And
so what's going on with our country?
Like Obama, he was in for 4 years. Okay? He kept saying he was going to get our troops back home. All of our troops ain't back home.
There's a lot about politics and political figures, and then it turns into a great big argument, which is why I don't talk about politics, especially in a bar. I don't bring up politics, not to drunk people, because they will get in your face, and they will spew their god-awful beer breath and liquor breath in your face.
Oh, and if they're so drunk, they're probably spitting in your face as they're talking to you.
It's like, I don't want to have this conversation with you. I just simply say I don't get involved in voting and politics because, first of all, I don't understand politics to really care about politics. And second of all, it's never going to get better. It's never going to get better. At least not in my lifetime. Because we have to eliminate greed and corruption. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And when people say that they want honest leaders, well, to me that's it's a display of ignorance. Because if honesty were introduced into politics, the system would have collapsed years ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm getting bored with talking about stuff that I don't.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with it. But anyway, guys. So now you know why I'm not political. But that's not why I'm here, though.
Yesterday, Jared, when you went on your little visit, whatever, did you actually get to see them do the wig right there, or no?
No, I was in this little cubicle, this little room where I had to enter in the hair donations. I was sitting at a computer, and then I had to fill out these information packets that I had shown you guys, and they had me do some other stuff. I went next door to Jet's Pizza, and they had given me money to go pick up an order, and because Maggie's Wigs for Kids, it's in a little plaza.
Oh, okay.
And so it was in walking distance, so I had to go next door to Jet's and pick up some pizza, and they had the most awesome, the most amazing raisin cookies.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like raisin cookies.
Raisin oatmeal?
Yeah, they're good.
And melt in your mouth? Not in your hand?
Well, they weren't M&M cookies. They were raisin cookies, and they were good.
But still, the raisins don't melt in your hand either.
The coffee was a little strong for me. I couldn't drink it. It was too strong. Sorry, ladies. It was a little too strong for me, but that's okay. Next time I'll just stick to the water. But I figured if I drank coffee, it would help me stay awake.
Yeah.
And not really, because when I was coming home yesterday from St. Clair Shores, I had to detour through downtown Detroit.
Oh.
I had to go, because I tried to get back onto 696 from 94 and go back through Roseville and all that. I did go through Roseville. I was on 12 Mile Road, but I couldn't get back onto 696 from 94. I had to go 94 all the way to downtown Detroit and get on 75. Take 75 north back to 696 and then head west again.
What fun.
But I did go past the Detroit Zoo, and I must say I'm very amazed that they kept my old bedroom nice and tidy at the zoo.
Which one was your bedroom?
It was in the same vicinity as the rest of the apes, the primates.
Oh, and with all the monkeys.
Yeah, I've never been to the Detroit Zoo, but I've driven by there.
We'll make you the spider monkey.
I've been there by there quite a few times. I've never actually been at the zoo,
lemur.
but
They're more your type.
yeah,
Laid back.
a lot of my friends have been to the zoo, to the Detroit Zoo. It's a big place, but it's located. It's actually not even really in Detroit. It's in Royal Oak,
Oh yeah.
and it's you get off at the Woodward Avenue exit.
Oh.
So it would be like in Royal Oak.
Oh, okay.
But they had construction zones on 696 yesterday, because the way I would usually take, from here, I go down M57, which is just a mile from the house. I go east to I-75. And I go down by Flint, and when 75 and 23 split, I stay on 23. Then I get on 96 at Brighton and then head east. And then I come into Novi and Farmington Hills and Wixom and all that. 96 turns into 696. Then I go through Royal Oak and Oak Park and Lathrop Village and Centerline and all those until I come out to 94, and then I head east or north, depending on how you look at it. Then I go that way on 94 like I'm going towards Port Huron. But, and I said usually, but I don't typically, like, all the time drive over there. But that's, I've taken that route before.
Now when do you go back and do some more?
They wanted me to go back on Friday, this coming Friday, October the 5th. They wanted me to do it every week, but I don't think I can do it weekly, because it's such a long drive, and
yeah.
I'm on a fixed income, which means I'm not always going to have the money.
Right.
And I just announced I wanted to plan a trip to Indianapolis. Well, that takes money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, but I don't, Indianapolis is, that trip that I would like to make, that's to actually, meet a warrior and his mom, and we've been talking for quite a long time.
Oh, that's cool.
But she wants me to come down and meet her son. So he's a cancer warrior, plus he has Down syndrome. I think it would be a nice visit. And I'm not holding that against him. I don't hold a person's
right.
disabilities against him, but I'm saying that he is a cancer warrior, plus he has Down syndrome, and he is like one of the sweetest kids ever. And his mom wants me to come and meet him and her. I don't know where I would sleep. I would have to, I don't know, if I can't stay there, like if they want me to stay a weekend, I would,
You have to have money for motel and all that.
probably. Because I don't know if I want to just drive down there for a day and then
Turn around and drive
and drive all the way back in the same day.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite a long way to go just to stay. But then again,
you figure the night before you usually don't sleep at all.
Yeah, but then again, when I went down to Pickerington, Ohio, which is Columbus, I came back the same day, and that's about the same distance, I think, from here to Columbus.
Oh.
In Indianapolis, I think would be about the same distance. Because I would go down 69 from Lansing, go through Fort Wayne, and 69 takes you to Indianapolis. But I think it's the same distance. Because you can get to Columbus from Indianapolis if you go down 80 or 70 or one of those roads. No, it would be 70 because 80 would be closer to the Michigan-Indiana line.
Right.
If I remember the maps. But anyway, guys, I've been here for over an hour. Again, Dad's gonna, I didn't hear myself in the video this week. No, I had to start it and re-record it because there were some things that I didn't want out there, and I didn't realize that I was putting personal information out there, so I had to re-record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here, and I thank you for joining me for another week of the Sunday video update. And
I enjoyed coming in, but late.
And this is going to be a rough week.
I had text messages. I hate them.
But this is going to be a rough week. I can just see it now. The funeral is what's going to be the hardest because, that's always the hardest. But I want my family to know, if they're watching this, that I love them.
Jared, your mom just texted me. She just got in the car and she's headed back.
Okay.
She'll be back Wednesday.
Okay. But this is going to be a rough week, and I just want my family to know that I love them, and I'm here for them, and we'll do what we can to help. And like I said, if any of you feel inclined to make a donation, there will be a link to the GoFundMe page in the description of the video, and maybe later today I'll do I keep wanting to say Facebook Live. I'll do a YouTube live stream, and then my friends or whoever subscribed to my channel, you guys can come in and we can talk in the chat, and I'll answer your questions if you have any, and maybe we can just talk back and forth and talk about whatever you want. That'd be fine too. Anyway, and this is the last day of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month again. I wasn't really too enthusiastic about it this year because of what I had mentioned previously.
I'm escaping on you, Jared.
But, okay, that's fine. Again, I haven't been really too enthusiastic about it. My dad, I don't know if he's really been saying a whole lot about Childhood Cancer Awareness on his Facebook page, but what I can say is, even if there comes a time when I don't talk about it as much, if I'm not as enthusiastic, I want all the warriors out there to know that I would never give up on them. I'm never going to turn my back on them. But if there comes a time when I just decide to stop talking about childhood cancer altogether, or raising awareness, my stories will still count. They will still matter. And I'm always within reach. I'm not a hard person to find. Anyway, on that note, thanks for watching again this week, guys, and I will talk to you all later. Same bear time, same bear channel. So, much love, Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Peace out.